alive.
Welcome to WagerTalk Today, the gold standard of sports betting shows where we talk the talk, walk the walk. It's Monday, diving into sharp market movement. We have to talk to Carmine about the Olympic fallout, NHL futures. We got a lot of college basketball, only 3 NBA games that we're going to break down, all of those. Dan, come on in here. Pretty incredible weekend of sports. That was a lot of fun. You had a lot of fun with your lacrosse plays. But who do we have on today's show, and what was your takeaway from the weekend?
Yeah, a great weekend. We'll get into that in just a moment. But as you alluded to there, we have brought on Carm. I saw he's able to lick his wounds after USA beats Canada. Him and Prez had a great preview on that video. Unfortunately, didn't go their way. But Andy, everyone was a winner who tuned into that game Saturday morning. I mean, it was just a hell of a hockey game. A great way to kind of put a cap on what was a fun Olympic hockey season here for us. So yeah, we'll talk about the fallout there. And then also, folks, NHL is back, baby, which means puck time is back. So Carm's going to talk a little bit about that. He's also got a future you should be betting now in NHL action. Steve Merrill's also coming on. Andy, it's a small but mighty hoops board. We have 3 NBA games. We're going to have Steve talk about the Spurs and Pistons. You're going to give plays on all 3 of them. And then a very small college basketball board as far as the marquee matchups go. Steve's talking the doubleheader that's on ESPN tonight. So you want to play in Louisville taking on UNC, you got it here. You want to play on Houston versus Kansas, you got it here. So the small but mighty board, Andy, we're hitting every game that's on it. So, and for you soccer fans, we'll have a play for you in EPL action as well. It's a great Monday here, Andy, on what is on the heels of a great weekend. 2-0 in the lacrosse department for us. How'd the rest of the team do? How'd the clients do this weekend?
We had a pretty good weekend. UFC was not that good. 0-2 on 2. We had 2 small plays. That should have told me right there.
It's a weird card, dude.
Well, we didn't like a big play, so we just put in 2 small plays. They didn't go well, but we swept the board on golf. We lost our pre-tournament play, but won 2 live ones. Rugby department continues to keep kicking ass. So we ended up with a really nice run. I think we're up 8 units over the last 7 days. So pretty happy with how everything went. Yeah, we're up 32 units for the year. So anytime you're profitable, it's good for this business. So
8 units in a week, Andy. I will say, we'll hold on to this, but we could be approaching absolute wagon territory. That's all I'm saying. We're nearing absolute wagon territory. That's a little tease for the folks.
Yeah. Let's bring on Gianni here. Let's talk. Gianni, you had a nice MMA weekend. And you are the only one in my circle that
had a weekend.
Yeah, pre-fight did well. I'll be honest, I was not doing well, and then being able to get Strickland at plus money live. What do we talk about UFC? I got Sean Strickland big at plus money in the second round. It absolutely saved my card. But congratulations, man! Nice MMA weekend.
Yeah, it was a really nice card, and I felt going in because I do the notes, a lot of betting notes. I send into the UFC every week that they use throughout like different broadcasts and stuff. Make a long story short, I always send in how many favorites so far, how many dogs based on the closing line, how many overs, how many unders. And every year it's kind of around the same 65, 66% favorites, 32, 33% dogs. And then there's like that 0.5 to 1% that are the no contest. And whenever it gets way ahead one way or the other, it usually has enough of a sample size to progress towards the mean. Well, we started off the first 2 or 3 events with favorites way ahead. I said, man, is this that dog card? Because we are going to see more dogs than we've seen the first few cards. That's for sure. It doesn't mean it's going to happen overnight. So I was zeroed in on a couple dogs, but again, I kept my volume low. This was one of those nights that I wish I fired 15 plays to subscribers because I was just on point. I even have right now in one account where I have a parlay that's still live where I put Strickland plus 220, Medic plus 180, Spivak plus 122, and an open spot. So it's a 4-team parlay. I have to find that one open spot. So the next 5% in college basketball goes in there because I fired the first 5% on Saturday with Duke. I've been harping about Duke for the last 3 weeks that they are the best team in the country. And I got so much pushback from Arizona fans, from Houston fans, from Michigan fans. And I said, dude, for me, I'm just telling you what the numbers tell me, that no one should be favored over Duke. And then I look at the line Saturday and I see Duke's a home dog to Michigan. I said, I got to fire my first 5%, but I'm going to wait an hour or so into the morning to see if any of the guys I work with come in opposite me. The last thing I want to do is fire 5% on Duke and have them come in on Michigan. And I waited a little bit, did last call. And then I said, you know what, man, I got to trust my numbers. I got to fire. I'm betting it that much. I got to give it to my subscribers like that. So I gave out Duke and they got it done. But honestly, I felt comfortable that even if they lost that game, that's the kind of bet I like placing, where I felt confident I was getting the best of it. Kind of like with Strickland. I thought I was going to throw that ticket out. I thought Fluffy was going to eventually grind him out by taking him down and not controlling him for long, but that would be the difference maker. But yeah, the value ended up coming in. So far, so good, not to go on, but it's a very slow day today. And I'm okay with that because it was a really good week. It's been a great 2026. We're ahead of schedule towards my goal. And yeah, everything's good as we head into the March Madness, which is ahead. And yeah, power ratings are ready to go. So yeah, and we got MMA coming. A lot of good stuff.
Anytime I see these these wrestlers that are like, I'm gonna box. It's just like, it's just a live bet. It's I don't understand it. I wonder if he wasn't 100% healthy, but what a horrible, it's just a horrible look for him. He looked terrible. Like Strickland dog walked him and knocked him out. So
it reminded me when I thought of the bettors that had Fluffy felt like me a few weeks back when I had, what's it called? That didn't go for, when I had Patty the Batty. And I was expecting
no wrestling.
Yeah. I was expecting him. He's the grappler. He's the wrestler. He's going to at least do that. And he did none of that. So I feel your pain if you had Fluffy and you expected him to grapple.
And you feel like a dope, don't you? Like you're watching Patty just get his ass kicked on the feet. You're watching Fluffy like land any strikes.
I see it. Like, everyone sees it. Like, yeah, unless it's just so hard to do. You know what I mean? Like, it's easy for me to say do it, but maybe he just couldn't get it done. You know what I mean? Gagey was just that hard to take down for him. Maybe, I don't know, but at least try was my argument.
Yeah, just give it a shot. Just make us just for optics. Try
just for me. Down. Yeah. So I sleep good, Patty. That's it. Just give me 2 attempts. That's all.
Well, let's talk your updated college basketball rankings.
Yeah,
you trusted your numbers. It paid off in a 5% play. So what are we looking at? Teams to bet on, teams to bet against.
Yeah, great question. And still Duke still at the top. Obviously, nothing's changed there. I haven't downgraded Michigan because I had them third anyway going into last week. I had Houston above them. Houston is still there, but I have moved Arizona up above Florida. So now Florida's number 5 for me. So it goes Duke, Houston, Michigan, Arizona, Florida in my top 5. Now, the bet on, bet against. Here's some of the teams that I have ranked that the AP does not. I have Tennessee. They're in my top 15. I have Connecticut. Oh, no. I have Auburn. They're in my top 15. I have, who else is in there? Kentucky in my top 15. I have Arkansas in my top 20. Those are teams that I think are really undervalued. Even BYU that the AP doesn't have. And then some of the AP teams that I think are overvalued. None bigger than Nebraska, not even in my top 20. You know, they're a top 7-8 team in the AP. Kansas is a top 10 team. barely in my top 20. They go tonight against Houston. We could cover that real quickly. And then who else was there? Iowa State, they have higher. They have high Iowa State top 5. I have them out of my top 10. They're an 11th best team. And one other team I wanted to talk about that I have top 10 and is nowhere even in the top 20, Tennessee. Tennessee's dangerous team, top 3 defense, and they play a top 10 strength of schedule. That's a team that I've continued to move up over the last 3 weeks. Every single week, they've climbed higher, higher, higher. They're now 1 slot away from breaking into my top 10, that Tennessee team. So, yeah, again, my ratings aren't perfect, but they've produced enough to produce a profit. Their results have produced a profit, so they're good enough to overcome laying 11 to win 10 if you pick your spots. Again, they're not always going to be right, but they do prove themselves, like Alabama's better than the pollsters think, teams like that, and I love taking advantage of that. And if you want to cover real quickly tonight, here's what I got. Louisville, North Carolina. AP has Louisville 21st, North Carolina 16th. I have North Carolina not in the top 20, but I have them, Louisville and North Carolina, a lot closer. I have Louisville as the 24th best team in the country. I have North Carolina as the 23rd best team in the country. So I have them pretty much identical in power rating. Probably give North Carolina maybe a half a point, but you got to give North Carolina about 2.5 for home court advantage. So I made North Carolina the favorite in this game. Louisville now a 3-point favorite. That has me all over North Carolina. But North Carolina got steamed. I mean, Louisville got steamed from one of the guys that I trade with accounts with, a group he works with, bet the Louisville side. That's why you're looking at 3 now. So I got to sit that one out unless I see it's just manipulation or, there's other kind of information as the day goes on. And the same thing with Houston, Kansas, where, like I said, I have Kansas barely in my top 20. They have them 8th. So I have Houston actually offering a little bit of value. Even though, they're road favorites, I have Houston winning that game by about 3.5. But we're looking at 1.5 in Houston. Why? Because Kansas got steamed this morning. So wise guys disagree with at least what my power ratings show on both these matchups. So I got to dig deeper and see, is there matchup difficulties? Is there injuries? Or our numbers just disagree? And then I'll follow the line as the day goes on and see, does the market prove them to be right or me to be right? And if it doesn't support me betting, I'm forced to sit those 2 out and probably just attack the added board games. Again, I trust my numbers, and I'm not going to go head to head when I know how hard it is to win long term. And when I see a long term winner opposite me, I tend to respect that.
Yeah, that is kind of interesting. So when you make official plays, it's only if you get confirmation on your opinions. Is that right?
Correct. I'll fade sharp stuff. I joke all the time where I say wise guy, schmaz guy. I'm fading it. Like I have that much trust in what I like. I'll do that, but I'm very selective when I do that because, you stick your head up too much, it's going to get slapped occasionally. And I have been slapped occasionally doing that. So I stay very selective, but I will do it on occasion. I will never fade mine and just piggyback theirs because it puts me in a no-win situation. So I'll never do that. Like I'll never now take Louisville tonight just because they took Louisville if my numbers show North Carolina, and I won't take Kansas just because they did if my numbers show Houston. But what I like is for me on Houston, them on Houston, me on Carolina, them on Carolina, or them idle, kind of like with the Duke game in Michigan. They were idle, nothing on the sides from the betting syndicates. So I was like, I'm good there. It didn't make me nervous before the game.
Nice. What is your definition of sharp? wise guy these days in 2026?
For me,
what's your definition?
There's two. I'm so glad you said that. I separate sharp and wise guy. To me, they're two different bettors. There's a ton of sharps out there. I was a sharp bettor from long time ago. I knew I was sharp, but I wasn't a wise guy. You don't get to that status until you actually do produce profit with your knowledge, your sharp knowledge. You know what I mean? Like where you're actually making money doing it or moving markets. One of those two things as a wise guy. As a sharp, yeah, I know a lot of sharp guys out there that unfortunately not unfortunately, it is what it is. I was sharp and I still had to sometimes go hustle as a bartender, hustle as a taxi driver, hustle. I knew not to take bad numbers. I knew all the sharp things to do, but I couldn't do them. I was able to preach them, but I couldn't practice them. And that's when you step into the wise guy category. Because again, like, there's betting syndicates, wise guys, I consider them the same thing, more or less. But sharps, there's a lot of sharp bettors out there. Not all of them are profitable. Like I know a lot of guys, even on social media, not calling anyone out, that is extremely sharp, or the industry considers them very sharp, but they're not, they don't have positive lifetime earnings betting sports, put it that way. That's like a rare class.
Yeah. It's all right. So we got to be a sharp, and then we got to be a wise guy. I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
That's
very
a good
hard
point.
to do. Most just stay sharp and their whole lives, and if they get to work with wise guys, it helps out. But it's hard to get there, man. That by how few, even with winning information, profit. Just think of your subscribers. You have winning years, but how many of them turn in a winning year? Because you're not able to bet for them. You can't manage their risk. You can't manage their emotions. You can't brush all them demons off those shoulders that you have to do to your own self every day. You know what I mean? So that's where it becomes difficult, where even if you're sharp, like you still then have to survive all those the demons we face every day in this racket. That's the difficulty of it. Because again, most get into it because they have some gamble in them. Like at least back in the day, like anyone that got into this industry was in it because they had gamble in them. Like we're not in it by accident. Where now it's a little different. Even math guys get in it because they see edges, and it's a little bit, it's changed with the legalization and the widespread of sports betting. And look at like Polymarket and all those things. Now you have like brokerage guys that just did nothing but Forex and stock and crypto. Now seeing, wait, there's inefficiencies in sports betting market, and wait, all of a sudden there's liquidity as well because of Polymarket and Kalshi. That now our competition is about to get harder, boys. I don't know if you guys know this. Everyone watching right now, our trading, like it's who you're trading against, more or less dictates your success and how good of a trader you are and who you're going to trade against. And now with the liquidity of Kalshi and Polymarket, it's about to get harder. I used to talk about this back at the Stardust when they were saying offshore is going to explode. And I said, I don't know if that's a good thing, because what if all those Wall Street guys start to dabble into our market and start creating the algorithms and the fiber optic cables to beat us by a split of a billionth of a second to a move? Like that shit's going to happen if there's liquidity in the market. But because these guys move 7-8 figures, and we only could move 6 figures if we're lucky, they're not going to mess with our market. But if there's enough liquidity where they could start moving 7 figures easily, 8 figures eventually, dude, rest assured, the institutions are coming. And then that's who we'll be trading against. So let's make our money now.
All right, this is a topic we need to explore and we need to get into later in the week, the Polymarket and Kalshis, because there's a lot to digest there. So, but for now, what do you have up for everyone at WagerTalk?
Yeah, as of right now, we just got my long-term packages. If you're joining with me for the week, the month, or even better, 2026, you know our goals, what they are, and if they're aligned, you will not be disappointed, because I haven't been able to confirm anything for a premium to even put the Steam sheet up. That's why, real quick, I'll just tell you what I got. NBA Utah plus 14, College basketball, I told you Kansas plus the 2.5, 3. Louisville minus the 1.5. Extra board games, Mississippi Valley plus 17.5. New Orleans plus 13. McNeese minus 9.5. And over 144 in McNeese. You just got this theme sheet right now for free. I didn't want to charge anyone $19 for that because that's all the information I have up until now. And I don't have a premium. I'm not going to fire a premium unless it's confirmed. I said I only have one goal in 2026. That's to make sure I make money and we turn a profit. So hopefully I am able to confirm between now and then, Andy, but nothing so far, brother, for Monday. But luckily there's 7 days in the week and we got tomorrow.
All right. I can't wait to talk Kalshi, Polymarket, and this ridiculous UFC card that's coming up where everybody's a minus 500 favorite. If it even happens.
Grab your water bottle, baby, and swallow that chalk. That's how it goes sometimes.
Have you been notified about if it's going to take place? Because this is UFC Mexico, and this is scary. What's going on down there.
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say. I'm not too sure, bro. That's going to take place. They even have World Cup scheduled for Jalisco, I think. So not a place you want to be going for your resort. I don't know. Yeah, that's a great question. I would think they're not. If I have to tell you, I would pretty sure. I would bet the no if it's on Polymarket right now. I would definitely. Hey, let's look if there's any action on Polymarket.
Good point.
That there will not be a UFC card on Saturday. I like it. Yeah, I don't think.
I mean,
so.
there's tennis tournament down there, and the tennis players are already there. And I was reading that official said if they were the WTA and ATP, get a couple plays on there and get everyone out of there. If
I just watched the video of someone getting blowtorch while tied to a tree. You don't want to go there for a UFC card. Like it ain't the place for MMA. I'm not sure Paramount wants to launch the first Paramount in Mexico during that week. And
great start for Paramount.
Yeah.
First round Strickland. now this. The
cartel's going to kidnap fighters. Yeah, we don't need that.
All right, Gianni. Thank you very much. Good luck with your plays.
We'll
talk to you
later.
later this week. Oh man. Oh,
Paramount's like, wait, what's happening now?
That's Paramount's fault, though. I like to be upset. To be upset already. Come on.
Yeah,
there have been no surprises. You knew what you were getting.
There is one thing that you can say about Mr. Strickland, other than the fact that he had an incredible performance this weekend, and that is he will speak his mind, whatever that is on his mind. He will. You put a microphone in front of his face, and you're going to get Sean Strickland quotes. That's what you're going to get, man.
For Paramount to be upset. No,
Andy,
you play with fire, you're gonna get burned. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. You can't go crying wolf now. We got Carmine Bianco coming up. He's gonna give you some NHL action here. But first, Andy, 3 games on the NBA card here tonight. You have thoughts on all 3 of them here for the folks. It's Andy loves you, folks. All 3 games, small card. Andy's got plays for all of them. What are we thinking in NBA action here tonight? And then we'll let folks know what we got going for the clients.
All right. Well, I think that we should try and give away a 3-day pass.
Ooh.
So let's do everyone put their WagerTalk username in the comment section. If I go 3-0, we'll pick a free 3-day pass winner. So only 3 games tonight. Let's try and sweep the card.
Comment below after the video goes live, folks. If your WagerTalk username is included on it, free 3-day flex pass when Andy hits these. Here we go, baby.
We'll start with the Pistons and the Spurs. We'll take the over 229.5. Last 3 away games for the Spurs, they've scored 230. The totals have been 239, 242, and 258. 2 games out of the All-Star break, 236 and 239. The pace has increased the last couple months with this team. Actually, both teams, San Antonio especially, though. Last 10 games, the Pistons are 7-3 to the over. Spurs 8-2 to the over. Let's take the over at 232.5 in that one. Grizzlies and Kings, ugly game, but when you get ugly teams playing not a lot of non-starters, you tend to not see a lot of defense. And that's what I'm going to bet on here. We're going to take the over here. It's up to 233.5. Fine, I'll take it. Kings have lost 16 games in a row. Dan, the last time they won an NBA game, CJ Stroud was still alive in the NFL playoffs. That's how
Wow.
long.
It feels like
That's
ancient
how
history,
long.
Andy.
Feels like a million years ago. Yeah. The last 2 wins they had were against the tanking Jazz and the tanking Kings. So the opposing teams against the Kings, they've scored 120 points in 5 straight. Opposing team against the Grizzlies have scored 114 in 10 straight. And it's just when these bench players are playing, they're trying to impress for next season. They're trying to pad stats. There's not going to be any defense that's played. So give me the over in this one. And the Rockets and the Jazz. Give me the Jazz the first half. It's plus 7.5. Here's what the Jazz do. They'll play hard in the first half. They'll play their starters, and then they'll bench guys. This is a Jazz team, Dan, that is tanking, but they are 5-0 ATS first half in the last 5 games. That just tells you everything. They're playing hard in the first half, and then they give it away in the second half. And I don't trust this Rockets team. The chemistry's bad. They're not blowing anybody out. So I'll take the Jazz first half plus 7.5. So those are your 3 plays here. After the show, comment section, put your WagerTalk username. If I go 3-0, we'll give away a 3-day pass.
Boom, Andy. Absolutely love it. And before we get to Carm here real quick, I want you to let folks know what we have because we have a lot of action rocking. Darts has been in absolute wagon territory. Real quick, Andy, before you let folks know what we have up, I'm going to give you something. Just got word that Air Force and Siena lacrosse tomorrow has been moved. It was an outdoor game. It's now going to be played at 10 a.m. indoors. The total should be 26.5 at least. The total sitting at 24.5. So the thought process behind this, folks, guys, and again, I literally got it on my phone right now that the game was just moved. So the thought process is both of these are solid offenses. They're also both playing against really bad defenses. So we already liked the over. When these games are played indoors, playing indoors is a nightmare for goalies because they're using white balls in white lights in white arenas. So 24.5, I think it's still too low. So breaking news, there was a venue change. We like going over in these. Don't go crazy on this bet because it's 2 bad teams, but I think you should be betting Siena lacrosse and Air Force lacrosse over tomorrow, 10 a.m. Just found out about the venue change. So, Andy, now that folks see what they kind of get from the lacrosse department, hopefully we cash that one. What do we got rocking for the clients tonight?
Well, tonight we've got to pack up with a soccer and an NBA prop. Thursday, we have a 5% darts play that went up. We're now 4-0 lifetime on them. And if it ain't broke, don't fix it. When you're seeing a sport really well, you trust your reads and you go with it. Dan, you're on fire in lacrosse as well. So we're continuing success in the sports that we are really dialed in, and darts is one of them. So Johnny was nice enough to let me put up a half price again. So with some of these obscure sports, I get it. And bet on darts, bet on lacrosse. Yes, you should. Yes, you absolutely should. But we put it up for half price last time, and we're going to put it up for half price now. So that's available right now. We got a future in cricket. That is, I believe that one is still up, but you can really rock this 10 days for the price of 7 special that's going on. So we have a huge UFC card, 5% darts. We've got all of our NBA props, NHL props start up again. Soccer and the rugby department is absolutely kicking ass after a few wins this weekend, 2-1 weekend in rugby. So you get all those, you save $69, 10 days for the price of 7 again.
Love it.
If you want just one play, that's fine. You want 2 plays, that's fine. But it really makes all the sense in the world to get a 7-day pass, 10-day pass, 3-day pass so you can get all of these sports. So we're up 32 units this year. I just checked. So running really good. Nice, profitable weekend. So we keep chugging along, and I invite you to partner up with us. So that's what we got up. A couple of questions about TGL tonight. There are 2 TGL events. We will definitely be live for one of them. Jake, I'm going to lean the other side with Boston just because Justin Thomas makes his triumphant return after big surgery and big layoff. I can't wait till that guy plays actual golf. We're going to fade the you-know-what out of that guy. He's just kind of a fade, but we will be live and we'll watch that show. I have not bet it. I have not client bet it. So that tells you my level of confidence in there when I don't have my own money on it. That says a lot. So yeah. We're going to do all around the world and WTF LFG later on here. We talking with Carmine or are we talking with Steve Merril?
Yeah, let's bring in Carm real quick. Talk a little NHL action with our man Carm. Second half of the season is incoming here, Carm. But it's great to see you. We reached out to the north of the border. We were like, are any of you going to come on here, show your face after all the smack talk that was done in the Wager Talk Slack channel? And Carm said, I ain't never scared, boys. And you said World Cup is on the horizon, so you're Italian. You're not even representing the Canadians here today.
Yeah, I'm Italian. I'm officially Italian out of the World Cup side. Dude, it was a disaster up here, man. It's just Molotov cocktails. They bombed Costco locations. It was just actually, that's Mexico. Here, nothing. Not a peep, man. Not a peep. They lost the game. And radio stations are just starting to talk about the Toronto Maple Leafs and their chances of making the playoffs. I think it's absolutely hilarious. But yeah, it was a great. It was a phenomenal game. It is what the fans deserved. I said, and I tweeted out about it that hockey is much better than basketball. There's no way even an occasional hockey fan, can watch the USA versus Canada, watch that game, and not have had a fantastic time, regardless of the result. It would have been great if Canada would have won. They didn't, but the best player on the ice played for the U.S., and that was Connor Hellebuck. He absolutely stonewalled Canada, and the USA won. So great to them. I love the moment with the Johnny Gaudreau USA jersey, bringing that on the ice as well, too, to honor him as well, too. So kudos to the U.S. there. Fantastic game. The numbers were slanted in Canada's favor as far as like the post-game numbers, but that doesn't matter. The goalie wins you games. And Connor Hellebuck did it, man. Kudos to them. And my only thing is just keep hockey about hockey. I think people try and mix in like a bunch of other stuff, like politics or whatever. That doesn't come into it. Hockey is hockey, man. And at the end of the day, that's all that really matters. People will survive here north of the border, Dan. There's no igloos melting. There's no sled dogs running wild. Everything is fine.
Well, Carm, I do have something that hopefully will make you and everybody else feel better.
Oh, God.
Here you go. What
were they doing? What were they doing? Giving out stuffies.
It was the dumbest. Who was like, you know what? We should give the losing hockey team stuffed animals.
It is. I saw it when they did the women's one, and I thought, oh my God, are they going to do that in the men's one as well too? Like, what guy wants to be handed a stuffy along with his silver medal? It's just.
There you go. Thanks for putting it all on the line and coming up short.
Thanks for having your teeth knocked out during the game, as happened to one of the USA guys. That 4-minute penalty. Here's the stuffy to make you feel better. But so listen, kudos to the U.S. The U.S. women were phenomenal. I don't understand how that game the USA game was only a 1-goal game with the women. The women, and I'm just going to talk about this, Dan, real quick. The women in 2022, Canadian women absolutely dominated the Beijing Olympics. They just steamrolled everyone. And the USA from 2022 on said, we can't let this happen anymore. They brought in one of the guys that worked for the U.S. men's developmental team, that the Chuck brothers, Boldy, like all of these guys. He made the U.S. women's team faster, stronger, better. This team, nobody was going to beat the USA team. And I think that the 2030 Olympics are in the U.S. There's no one's going to beat the U.S. women's team. They are. Canada's going to have to get. Canada's an aging team. They're the Canadian women's team. 16 players from the 2022 Olympics, 4 holdovers from the 2018 Olympics. You got to get younger, and you got to retool your team. USA did it, and kudos to that women's team, man. They are absolute monsters.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I mean, it was definitely a crazy run there. And as Prez kind of said when he was on the show last, he was like, don't be shocked if this gold medal game is a little bit closer than expected. So, yeah, I'm with you there, Carm. But now we can turn the page, man. NHL is going to be back all the time. I mean, you've been here in the Wager Talk Today chat here while you guys had your little brief, puck time recess. And the folks need puck time back, Carm, and it's coming back. But let's talk a little bit about the playoff picture. As you move forward here, I guess you could call it the second half of the NHL season. It's really the playoff push that's on now. How do you attack betting some of these teams? And do any teams stand out to you as, hey, this is a team you need to be betting on or betting against? It's not like NHL where you really see teams full on tanking or anything like that. But how, as you approach and the playoff picture comes into frame, any teams that you're betting, or how do you just bet it more high level too?
Yeah, the Olympic break wasn't a break for me because I was going through pretty much, well, not pretty much, every single team's schedule, seeing how many home games they have left, how many away games they have left, back-to-back situations, their strength of schedule coming in for the remainder of the year, and then comparing their chances to make the playoffs with prices that are being offered. And this is another reason why you should have multiple books. And I'm going to look at one of them right now, and we'll start it right off with the top of the alphabet, and that's the Anaheim Ducks. You look at the Anaheim Ducks right now; they're holding on to the final playoff spot. If you look at a couple sites like MoneyPuck, it gives them a 75% chance of making the playoffs. Hockey Reference gives them a 77.1% chance of a playoffs. You look at it, and we talk about implied odds. There's different books, and this is why you have to have multiple outs. You can find the Anaheim Ducks to make the playoffs at minus 240, which the implied probability is 70.4 of that happening, much below that number. There's books as high as 280, where you're paying the implied probability is 73.7 odds on the price that they're giving you. Never take the 280 because it is pretty much bang on with what the statistical sites are telling you is going to happen. So you look at the Ducks, and this is a team that has 26 games left in the regular season. They start at home 7 straight games, a 7-game homestand. Edmonton, Winnipeg, Calgary, Colorado, New York Islanders, Montreal, St. Louis. Hit the road for 4, and then it's sort of home away, home away, home away. 7 of the 11 teams they play on the road, 11 games on the road is what they have left. 7 of those teams are not in the playoffs and have tough strength of schedules. So you have to look at that. It's a very good road schedule for them. Only 3 back-to-backs, which you would think there's some teams with a ton of back-to-backs in their last 21 games. They only have 3. 2 of those come at home. So those are the easiest ones because there's no travel. The only back-to-back on the road is when they're in Ottawa, and then they play in Montreal the very next night. That is a 1-hour trip from Ottawa to Montreal. So it's very important to take travel into it. But Anaheim right now, and then the final factor of this is a team that can make a move at the trade deadline because they have $12 million worth of cap space. So they can go out and pick up a veteran player that can help this team, not only in the dressing room, but on the ice. The Anaheim Ducks are going to make the playoffs. Minus 240, you got to take them at minus 240. I know that sounds like a weird price, but when you look at the probability of this team making the playoffs, the setup for them, it is a play that I think you have to make.
Love the breakdown there, Carm, and plenty more to come here on Puck Time. You and Andrew McGinnis, let folks know when the return's coming, and Carm, also let folks know what you got rocking over at your page as we move forward here, brother.
Yeah, so a couple things. First of all, Puck Time returns officially with the NHL schedule on Wednesday, but on Tuesday's show, I'm going to host a show. I've invited some of the other cappers to come on where we are going to talk about how each individual capper is going to attack the rest of the NHL season to get their thoughts, because everyone has a different way of getting value out of a number. So Brian Leonard will be there. The pen, Ralph Michaels, is going to be there with some stats as well too. Wow. Andrew McInnes, I have yet to hear back from the Prez and from Buster, but hopefully they can make it. I know their schedule's a little tough, and Buster's in Mexico. So I just want to hear from Buster to start with. We'll see if he's still okay. That's going to be Tuesday, 11 a.m. Tune in on WagerTalk TV. And then as far as my page, there was a couple soccer plays for today. I think they might have gone off right now. I have a 5% play up in Champions League on Wednesday. Back-to-back winners, Champions League last week, and an MLS winner on Saturday as they kicked off the new season. Number one in number one in soccer in 2026, and I finished the NHL prior to the break on a 17-5 NHL run. So the powers that be put up a nice little offer because the World Cup is right around the corner, and it is the cup to cup special. You can get the rest of the NHL season plus the playoffs, and then the World Cup that goes on this summer as well to get every single game. I'm going to 7 different games during the World Cup and hopefully more. I am looking forward to it. I will be doing free plays throughout the World Cup, but client plays as well too, of course. And we're looking for another winning World Cup. The last 3 years have all been winning World Cups for us. So we'll try and continue that trend.
Love it, Carm, and I'm glad to know that the Canadians, the demise was greatly exaggerated. Carmine, our representative north of the border, says we're all good, and
Dan, I'm just going to
chat. The chat has had much consternation over
that
these.
is a great.
I'm just going to say one.
Yeah, the kid's like, this is my favorite thing, and every time he's like, God damn it.
You know what I did? I took a nap after the game. And then I ordered myself a pizza and cracked open a bottle of wine, and I just watched Netflix. That's it.
That's all it takes.
Crying here.
That's it.
A little bottle of wine and some Netflix. There's not much it can't cure, Carm. So, Carm, always a pleasure, buddy. Glad to see you, man. And
Thanks,
we'll talk to you soon, brother.
All right, take care.
I was just trying to. In my head, like, what would have been worse than a stuffed animal? Because that was the most awkward. Like, I don't know, like a muffin. Just like,
no, the muffin has a benefit. You know what I mean? The muffin has a benefit. You have a blueberry muffin, you're feeling right as rain. You know what I mean? Like this is. I think AWB nailed it, where it's like, you give it to your kid, you're just like, screw it. And then every time you walk in, they're like, this is my favorite stuffed animal. Remember this, Dad, when you got worked by the USA hockey team in overtime? It's brutal.
Remember when you dominated time of possession and lost it in 3v3? Remember, Dad? Huh?
Because you played the hottest goalie that I've ever seen in any sport. The dude, how about that, where the goal was completely open, Andy? He leaned back like he's in the Matrix, gets it just on like the hair of the stick. I mean, absolutely incredible effort. If that net mining doesn't happen, Andy, you're not talking about the USA as champions. I mean, it was an absolute domination as far as you said in time of possession, scoring chances, threatening as well. But all that matters is who gets into the back of the net at the right time, man.
Yeah. Also, I mean, Nathan McKinnon missing the widest open net he's going to see probably for the rest of his career.
That didn't hurt.
Unless he has an empty netter. But, oh, yeah, that one, that's a kind that'll keep you up at night. So, handed every Canadian box of cleaning. Again, you got a sniffle, you might be able to use it. The stuffed animal. Yeah. Like I was saying in the chat, like, there's a lot of athletes that were thrilled to get a bronze or a silver. So it made sense, but just like in the moment, you're like, oh no, they're not
off of overtime.
No, they're not going to give the hockey team stuffed animals, are they? Oh, they are. Oh God. Oh, they are. Oh no. So, all right. Well, let's bring in Steve Merril. Steve, did you get up and watch the hockey game?
So I'm a big fan of DVRing games, and as you know, Andy, like watching NASCAR and fast forward. I did that with the Daytona 500 last week. I don't watch much NASCAR anymore, but I literally did not see the result. Sunday night last week, was able to fast forward to the last 3 laps, knowing that's all that was going to matter. Watched it all. So busy man yesterday on Sunday, so I was not getting up. I was up a little after 8 a.m., but I wanted to do stuff. So I knew there was no way I could avoid the result, but I'm out and about, went to the gym late morning. Didn't check the Slack threads. I knew not to check WagerTalk forum. Slack threads.
Never that.
And one of the realest Americans I know, my buddy Justin Brisky's in a chat thread with my sister and some other people. Knew I couldn't check that chat thread because he was freaking out. He didn't sleep all night. And so I was pretty good. And I saw some stuff pinging about 10:50, 11 o'clock. So I figured the game had ended. I'm still at the gym, and like I'm pretty much offline here. I'm like, I'm gonna be able to get home and watch this and not know what happened. And I see a guy just never talked sports betting with me in a million years, and I'm talking about some other stuff, skiing or whatever. And I'm like stretching out, about to leave. I hear him talking to his buddy, like, "Yeah, I had a 2-team parlay, USA in the under." I've never even heard this guy talk about betting before. He probably was like a $5 bet. So I kind of had a feeling that's what had happened. I accidentally glanced at Twitter on my phone to update my tweets and saw Ian Rappaport had a gold medal picture, but I didn't see it. But I was like, he's an NFL guy. That's probably not good. And the kicker, some guy I've never seen in my life, walks into the front desk, asks the guy checking in. He's like, blah, blah, blah. Oh, I didn't watch the game. When he's like, first time since 1980. I'm like, mother. So that was the clincher. So it went from like 50% to 70% to like 95%. I thought I knew what happened. I still watched it, but man, that would have been fun to watch because I could have, it's hard to watch hockey fast forward. I kind of go to like power plays and then watch but I would have gotten down to the last 3 minutes, watched live. I would have watched the overtime live and had no clue. What I will point out though is, basically it was a 3-on-1 break to score. The deflection at the other end, as the announcers were saying, was going to be a Canadian 2-0 break. That's how close it was, which no one's talking about.
Yeah.
But Canada wins that if that puck doesn't get tipped the other way to the U.S. I love the 3-on-3. The NHL, Andy, they do 4-on-4 now, right? Isn't that what they moved to a while ago in overtime? Am I correct? I don't watch a lot of NHL anymore.
I believe it's still the 3-on-3. I love the 3-on-3. I saw that.
Oh, the NHL does 3-on-3,
and I
didn't realize.
I get like a lot of people are like, I can't believe 3-on-3.
I think it's
fake
great.
hockey is what decides it. However, you know what I mean. Like it's not like I would way rather have that than a shootout. 1,000% times, yeah, because it's still okay. The ice is more open, but it's still hockey in its essence. You know what I mean? So
I think it's
I'm
great.
right there with you, Steve.
I think it's 99%. I think it's 100% real hockey. It's the same reason like rugby sevens is better than real rugby. I mean, I love watching the rugby sevens in the Summer Olympics. Yeah, I think it's a legit way to win. I think nothing is worse in the World Cup that they go to a shootout. It's just an elimination games and world title games, and yet another reason why soccer has issues. And they need an offside line, by the way, in soccer like they have in hockey, something we've talked about. Hockey, maybe soccer could solve it, Andy, by taking the goals and smushing them to half field and then going like
shrinking them
4-on-4.
down.
Yeah, because I would say soccer could do it, but the field's too big, right? It'd take forever.
Oh, see, I've always thought that the soccer overtime should be 3v2 starting at midfield. 2 defenders, 3 offensive
Oh, I like that
players.
instead of a shootout, you're saying?
Yeah,
I like
and you have like 25
cool.
seconds to score.
That's a great call, Andy. I'm stealing that.
My thought is you take one player off, and then you have in like 5-minute increments, you remove a player. The
field's too big, though. It's too big of a field, though. That's the problem.
I guess, you would have to scale it down. You would have to people moving in the goals at the same time. Yeah, you're right.
I like the shootout style with motion, Andy. That's a great call, actually. I've never heard that before.
I think that'd
you've
be
got
fun.
a soccer background.
It's photogenic. Looks good. Like you have that wide shot, and it's a lot more exciting.
And it's not a shootout. The bottom line is it's not a 1-on-1 shootout, which is just insane. Plus, the percentage on that is like 90%, which people don't realize. The NHL is like 10%. It's like the reverse opposite of it. It's very difficult to make shootouts in the NHL, which has always surprised me as well. Oh, last thing on the stuffed animal, I didn't realize they did that. I actually missed that part. But the first thing I thought of as Carm is holding that is one of my favorite movies, Animal House, when they're calling up the guys to set them up for the date where they're going to beat them up. And the guy's holding the stuffed animal, just holding the bear on the edge of the bed as he's choking it the whole time. And when she gets off the phone, he just goes, boom. And she goes, Teddy. That's what it's going to be like in all those Canadian households.
That's, every Canadian household. Over under 10 of them that got thrown away.
Most of them did not make them back on the plane.
They're not making the trip home. There's no way.
They should have given him the missing tooth, though, like blacked out the tooth or something on the spine. That would have been idea. Cool. Or stitches, the old stitches, the crosshash,
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Well, Steve, you got some games to break down here. We're going to do 3 of them. I'm interested in your take on Spurs on Pistons. I've got an opinion on that game, but let's start with college basketball. I'll let you do both games as one. We're going to do the ESPN doubleheader: Louisville, North Carolina, Houston, and Kansas. How do you break these 2 games down?
Yeah, there are only two college basketball games on the main rotation tonight. There's like 7 extra games, but they're both big ones. ESPN doubleheader. We're going to look at both free plays and analysis, sides and totals, even some team totals for you here, right now. Quick reminder, if you want my personal best bets each day, they're available on my page, WagerTalk.com, Steve Merril, and also a bonus free play in the NBA tonight. Just 3 NBA games. I got one of your Peacock games free for you on my page at WagerTalk.com. Steve Merril, WagerTalk.com. Get there quicker, WT.buzz/SM. All right, this is your 7 o'clock Eastern game in Chapel Hill. UNC, a home dog. In fact, both big-name teams, Kansas and UNC, are home dogs tonight on Monday. And North Carolina is shorthanded. They lost one of the most important players in the country 3.5 games ago, and he remains out. Caleb Wilson, great freshman, 6'10" freshman, averaging almost 20 points a game, over 9 rebounds a game. And UNC has gone 2-1 without him, alternated wins and losses. They beat Pittsburgh at home lost at NC State, and then they had a nice win at Syracuse this past Saturday by 13 points. And I think that could be actually the buy sign here for UNC. They're learning to play without the big man. They still have a lot of size, another 7-footer right behind them. And Louisville's a team that relies heavily on the three-point shot. And you live by the three, you die by the three. And that always makes handicapping Louisville games a little difficult because obviously if they're hitting their threes, they're going to win. And it's hard to sometimes predict that. But one thing you could start doing is looking at road games against good teams. I think that's a difficult spot for teams to make threes. And I remember we talked about a game about a few weeks ago, Miami of Florida. They're at Miami back on the 10th of February as a slight road favorite. They lose that game outright by 9. They only shot 29.5% from three. You look at another road game recently at NC State on the 17th, less than a week ago. They lose that one, got blown out by 24. And that's a situation, North Carolina I'm talking about right now. North Carolina was only 15% from three in that game. But on the road is a different story than at home. And North Carolina does not rely heavily on the three-point shot like Louisville does. Louisville, meanwhile, as I mentioned, relies heavily on the three. And you look at some of their recent road games at Duke, a game I talked about here on WagerTalk Today a month ago, late January. They lost that game by 31. They shot just 32% from three-point range in that game. They beat up a bad Pittsburgh team on the road. They took care of Wake on the road as a 9-point favorite. But a neutral site game against Baylor, nice win there. But then they regressed against SMU recently, another ACC road game, losing by 10, shot less than 38% from three in that range. So I think they are going to be challenged tonight because UNC is a team that does not allow a lot of three-point shots. They have a mediocre three-point D, but they don't give up a lot of threes. They defend the perimeter, and they're very strong down low. Also, they do not allow teams to get to the free throw line. So I think Louisville could be limited tonight. You can look at UNC. If you're worried about their star big man freshman being out, you could also look at the under here as a little bit of a hedge, and it's a big number, 162 here. Both teams play fast, but if Louisville's not hitting those threes, I think the under's in play. And, of course, if you lean UNC and lean Louisville, lean under, then the Louisville team total under 82 makes a lot of sense. Really like team totals in college basketball. Some sports books still don't offer them, which tells you something right there that they're winnable, they're beatable. I think Louisville team total under 82 makes a lot of sense in your 7 o'clock Eastern game on ESPN. All right, we'll look at your late game here in the Big 12. And this is a good one, Kansas and Houston. And on the surface, whenever you can get one of the best teams in the country, the Houston Cougars, off back-to-back losses, you'd think that would be worth a look. But the thing is, Kansas is coming out of losses in 2 of their last 3 games against a really good Iowa State team on the road. And keep in mind, we talked about that game last Monday on WagerTalk Today, and I liked Iowa State in that one. And also keep in mind, that was Saturday on my top 25 video previous Saturday on Valentine's Day. Came back with Iowa State on Monday last week when they won again at home against Houston. So we've talked about Iowa State against both of these teams in recent videos and shows. But one thing I pointed out in that Iowa State video about a week and a half ago was that Kansas embarrassed Iowa State. Iowa State lost by 21 on the road as a favorite back in January. So it was a big revenge spot for Iowa State. And then Kansas got back on track against Oklahoma State on the road. Nice 12-point win last Wednesday. Thought it was a good spot for them on Saturday. I went 2-1 on Saturday. The only game I missed in college hoops Saturday for my clients was on Kansas, and they lost outright as a good-sized home favorite against Cincinnati. Not a red flag for me, though. I think this is a bounce-back spot tonight. And while Houston also have back-to-back losses, I think they're not in as a good current form, and that is a concern here. And it's also a difficult road trip on just 1 day's rest after that huge game at home against Arizona on Saturday. Cougars also often struggle offensively. We've seen that in recent games. And here again, I think the team total is in play. Houston currently about a 1.5 to 2 point road favorite. Totals around 138. It opened 136. We've actually seen some sharp money come on the over. I do not agree with the over because I think this Houston offense is struggling right now. In fact, Houston has scored in the 60s here in most of their recent games. If you look at the team total for this one, odds makers right now have this one right around 70.5 to 69.5, 70.5. So we'll say 70 for the Houston team total. I like the team total for Houston under tonight. They have scored 67 points or less in 3 of their last 4 games. And we're getting them on the road in a tough spot tonight with a team total of 70. Take a look at the Houston Cougars under 70 team total. That game at 9 o'clock Eastern tonight. 2 really good games for you on ESPN National TV.
Let's get your take on this Spurs Pistons game tonight. I had an opinion on the total. Not going to tell you what it is. I want to get your take. See if you dialed in on the spread or the total in this game.
Yeah, so there are three NBA games tonight. Small NBA card, 3 of them, but it's a good card. And 2 of these 3 games are on national TV on Peacock. And the first one is Spurs Pistons. By the way, I do have a bonus free play on the late Peacock game, Jazz Rockets, for you right now on my page, Steve Merril, WagerTalk.com. You go get that late NBA free play at wt.buzz/SM, along with 2 college basketball best bets tonight on Monday. But this is your first national TV game, Spurs Pistons. Both squads pretty healthy. And we have seen a little bit of movement to the over-under in this one, currently sitting about 232 after opening around 231. Pistons currently about a 1.5-point favorite. That's held pretty steady all day long. And this could have a playoff atmosphere. These teams play again on March 5th. And these are 2 of the best teams from each conference, 2 young and up-and-coming teams. And we often look for the under in a playoff atmosphere, high-intensity game. But the problem is both offenses in excellent current form. In fact, the Spurs enter this game having shot 52% or better now in 4 of their last 5 games. This is a team that won 6 straight games before the All-Star break, and they did not regress any back-to-back wins since the break. Pistons also entered the break in good current form, winning 6 of their final 7, and they've won back-to-back games as well. Pistons have also, by the way, covered 5 straight going back to the start of February. Another team that's in excellent current form offensively. I'll lean towards the home team in this one. These are 2 teams that really have a chance to go deep in the NBA playoffs, even with limited experience. And a basic straight-up win situation. We'll go with the Detroit Pistons here, minus the 1.5 on the strong home court tonight. And kind of hope Detroit wins this one, maybe by margin, because then it will set up actually a pretty good revenge spot in a couple weeks. Next Thursday, I believe, on March 5th when they play in San Antonio. So we'll keep an eye on the game tonight. I lean Pistons, and it could set up a good bounce-back spot if we get the Pistons with the Spurs. These are 2 solid teams in excellent current form. I think this one goes down to the wire tonight, but I'd like Detroit to get it done at home as a small favorite. And don't forget, if you're liking the free play videos, thumbs up, like, comment below, click subscribe, and click the bell for instant alerts so you never miss out when a free play video is posted here on Wager Talk TV. And once again, bonus NBA free play in the late Peacock game, Jazz Rockets, right now. Steve Merril, WagerTalk.com, to get there quicker, wt.buzz/SM.
Great work, Steve Merril. Thank you very much. It was a absolutely fantastic way to slide in that you go to the gym. You know, I was getting up early.
Well done.
Oh yeah,
I was at the gym.
That's exactly what exactly. As you guys know, that's exactly what I was doing, flexing it. Like, this is Flex Monday with the Prez going in here and doing like this. Said I wanted to get some stuff done. Yeah, it just shows. You can say something and 100 people take it one way, but one guy takes it another way. Yeah, definitely not how I would have read that comment. That was about as nonchalant way of saying I went to the gym. And I said I was stretching out. It's not like I was escalating myself. I was stretching out and doing some poses and relaxing. Yeah, I mean, I didn't think there was a chance I'd get back home within a few hours and not have heard the results or seen it somewhere. In hindsight, though, it really wasn't those 2 guys. When I was trying to update some tweets from my best bets I had yesterday on my phone, I accidentally had on the main page, and I saw like it's you could see like gold medal moment or something it said, and it was Ian Rappaport. And I glanced. I'm like, I was like, and I thought maybe he's Canadian, but I was like, I'm pretty sure he's American. He's an NFL guy. So I was like at 90%. Yeah.
It's impossible these days to try and not hear a score of a sporting event. You could do it years ago, but you can't do it now.
So I almost got by with the women's game, and I was at my middle school, not basketball anymore. Now it's baseball. And the coach told me he'd cashed with the USC women like at 4:00 in the afternoon the other day. And there's no way I would have heard anything otherwise, because no one's talking women's hockey with me. And, man, that would have been a fun game not to know the result as I was fast-forwarding through it that night. So, man, yeah, it's tough. It's tough when they're over in Italy as well. Games start at 8 a.m.
All right, Steve, thanks very much.
Guys.
Good luck on your plays. Thanks for joining us. Steve Merril. We're going to get to some free plays here real quick. But, Dan, I wanted to bring up a couple thoughts on NBA. Remember how we talked about how the New York Knicks were on an unsustainable streak for covering spreads? They were 9-1. Last 5 games, they are 1-4. We also talked about the number 1 spread covering team before the All-Star break for the whole season was the Phoenix Suns. They are in big trouble. They just lost. First off, they're 1-3-1 against spread, and they are now out Devin Booker, and they're out Dylan Brooks. Dylan Brooks is the heart and soul of that team. I watched them last night because I had a player prop in there. They cannot score. They scored 77 points in the whole game.
in the NBA.
In the NBA in a whole game. And the game before that, it took 2 overtimes for them to get to 113 points. They are in rough shape. That is an under team. That is a fade against the spread type of team. Like I said, I watched them last night. Boy, are they got real trouble coming along. So, all right, let's do some free plays before we get out of here. Let's do WTF LFG for the people. Nice big winner on the lacrosse. Scotty Scheffler came up short, did not finish in the top 5. So I believe we're 26-18. That's what I have as our record.
Let me see. I pulled it up for you. Yep. 26-18 is where we stand at here, Andy. And I was thinking, hey, did we go lacrosse? Did we not? Big thanks, though. Folks were hopping in here. Hey, you won on Harvard. Great. We called outright the 14th team in the nation beating the number 1 team in the nation. We said bet the money line plus 270. It was around that. We got it home. So I'm glad we helped you cash over the weekend, folks, and we gave it to you free here on Wager Talk. So all we ask you to do, folks, like, interact with the show, comment, tell folks about the show, share it, and if you haven't already, subscribe. So, Andy, we're going to do a little EPL action here for the folks. I talked with Carm, my soccer guy, and he lukewarm gave me a thumbs up on taking the half goal today, guys, with Everton. Everton's playing Man U. Here's the thought process for me is Everton, how they've been hanging around for a playoff spot here, Andy. They're right around it. They're 8th, and they're playing a Man U team who's ranked 5th right now here in the EPL table. How it's worked out for Everton is they have been road warriors. Most of their success has come on the road. So now they're actually playing at home. That's usually a bet against, or at least a pass for Everton. However, the team that they're facing today, Man U, sitting in that 5th spot, they have been absolute dogs at home. Man U plus 10 on the goal differential in their home games. However, on the road, they've scored 22, Andy, and they've allowed 22. They are a draw. They are a, keep close games kind of team. They don't dominate teams on the road. So if I'm Everton, and we're saying, hey, if we really want this playoff spot, we are going to need to finally figure out something in our own home stadium. This is the kind of team you can do it against. So, the full-on play won't be take that plus 285, plus 290 money line. I would sprinkle that for sure, but I would probably bet my flat unit on taking the half goal with Everton. It's around minus 110, minus 115, as high as minus 120. Take the half goal, because if we tie in this game, which I could see a 1-1 tie be in the final, you're still cashing your ticket there, Andy. And you have a chance to get that money line home. So I'm taking the half goal with Everton. That is our WTF or LFG play. Let us know, folks, if you are following or fading in that one.
Like it. Someone in the chat brought up, I saw this at Phoenix plays Boston tomorrow. Boston could run them out of the gym. Boston just does not stop shooting threes. That one could get out of control. I'll be interested to see what the line settles at tomorrow. So, all right, let's do some free plays all around the world. Then we're going to get out of here. So we'll do a couple player props here. Grizzlies, Kings, Russell Westbrook. We're going to take his under 20.5 points, rebounds, and assists. It's a Kings team that is tanking. They're not interested in winning in 2 games since coming back from the All-Star break. His usage and minutes are down. He only played 17 and 22 minutes. He had 6 and 12 points, rebounds, and assists in those 2 games. Shot attempts are down. Field goal percentage is down. His body language looks terrible. He doesn't care. Why should he? The team doesn't care. Dan, he has 3 total rebounds the last 2 games. And 3 total assists the last 2 games. This is a starting point guard. 3 assists total in the last 2 games. So Russell Westbrook is a fade. I'm also fading Amen Thompson. I know it's a great matchup tonight, but he plays a ton of minutes. He doesn't get very many shots. He shoots about 8 per game. He's shooting 47% from the field. He has not hit a 3 in his last 3 games, and he doesn't shoot too many free throws. So I'm going to take the under 16.5 points. This is a client play. You can put it in. I'm a little worried about the second leg not being played because they're playing at Mexico. I don't know if they're going to continue to play these games, but I'll just read you the write-up. This is a women's doubles parlay here. Hunter and Townsend, I have them winning 2-0 over Stearns and Williams. This is Venus Williams, Dan. She's 45. She's 45 years old playing doubles. Her last 2 matches, her team got drubbed 2-0. Stearns has only played 1 doubles tournament since January. Hunter and Townsend, huge big edge. Townsend's the number 3 ranked doubles player. So I like Hunter and Townsend to win 2-0. And then Buxa and Jiang over Stevens and Sanchez. Stevens and Sanchez, they have 0 experience playing together. And Stevens pretty much only wins on doubles when she's with a really top ranked player. Sanchez is not. The other team, Jiang and Buska, they're top 36 ranked players, tons of experience. Buska's won 5 out of 6 first-round matches this year. Jiang has not been playing with great players, but it looks like she's decided to we'll step up the quality of my doubles partner in this tournament. So you parlay those together, get you about minus 120. But again, 50-50 whether that second leg even takes place. If it does, I like where we're sitting. So
love it.
All right. That is going to do it. Andy, any thoughts on Phoenix winning 45.5 games? I'd have to see what their NBA standings are at. That is a great question. I think I need confirmation on what Dylan Brooks' final injury is. It's a broken hand. I don't know if he's going to be out, but listen, Dylan Brooks, he's kind of won the battle of what's his reputation. Everywhere he goes, they win and they get better, which is weird because he's a villain, but for whatever reason, they just do really, really well. They have 33 now, so that means they would have to. Devin Booker better get his behind in the starting lineup, but he's out for another week or so. So this is not looking good for Phoenix. I'll look it up. We'll decide what we're going to do with Boston tomorrow on the season win totals. Great question. I'll have that as a free play tomorrow, one way or the other. All right, thanks for joining us, guys. Remember, put your WagerTalk username in the comment section. If I go 3-0 on my NBA picks that I did at the beginning of the show, somebody will win a free 3-day pass. Please like and subscribe. Good luck on all your bets, and we will be back tomorrow. Same time, same place. See you tomorrow. Take care.